at, where everything is going, and really looking forward to putting everything into perspective and then planning for this coming week. So the purpose of this meeting, as we've gotten used to, is for us as a team to come together and to be able to learn from each other, share experiences, share feedback, and then crowdsource for any sort of issues or problems that we might be facing. There's a bunch of us, and we all have different skills and experience, and sometimes problems that we're dealing with maybe internally can always be brought up at a meeting, and we can all try to come up with some sort of solutions, or at the very minimum, let you know that you're supported and that we're here to help you get through whatever it is that you're working through. So the purpose of the framework that's set up for this meeting, kind of, I know it's your like first or second time here, definitely first time stable, settled, and ready to roll. So what we do, like I mentioned on the group chat, we first talk about wins within that little 5 minute window, anything that you're struggling with, and then also what we're looking for this coming week. I find myself pretty psyched up whenever we have these meetings, and we're jumping right into it. So we'll kick this off with Chanel. What was the highlight of your week this week, and
Oh,
what can we be helped with?
always first. So, the highlight of the week is finally the buyer signed the buyer's letter engagement. So that is first. He's also in contact with Rachel. They're already doing all the papers and processes, and I'm looking for properties. He is a very picky. He's wanting to find something specific. So I am thinking even going to look for off-market properties. Maybe can find more options for him because most of what I found he didn't like, and we'll see. There's one, but we'll see. It's a long story. Another thing is that I went to a listing appointment with Joe to FISBO, and it was interesting and fun, to be honest. And yeah, and prospecting. Yesterday also I went to an open house, a luxury house, and I was by the area. I did a showing and then I was like, you know what? Let me check out the area. Let's see what's going on. And we by accident I went to like kind of like a broker's open, and I connected with a bunch of like realtors who were like established, and it was really good to connect and learn what they're doing. They literally brought someone with a violin and everything. I was like, that's nice, and learn a little bit of the area. I literally drove around, like wow, like the area is gorgeous over there. So yeah, that's, and also connected and everything. So that's the highlight of this week. And yeah, what else you want to know?
It's awesome. I want to know what and if there are anything that you're struggling with that you could use more support with over this coming week.
Um, the vendors. I would like to have the contact of the vendors. I can send him immediately if anything comes up. One thing, like to have things so I can act fast, so I won't bother you guys as well, because sometimes like it's immediate and then you're busy or Catherine is busy, so I want to be like ready on hand. So it will be as professional as possible. And listing appointments, just like practicing on doing listing appointments. Yeah.
This one's okay. Taking notes on that. A couple of things. When it comes to working with buyers are always going to be picky, especially the first couple rounds, because they don't know what they want. When someone's buying a house for the first time, they don't know what they want. So the best way to be able to help people, now you have a responsibility because you have a signed buyer's agency agreement with him. So your job now is to actually find him what he needs. What I do with those people is I use the question framework that we have for buyers to ask them exactly what they're looking for, so like that we can use the information that they give us as the negotiating tactic to be able to actually get them to go see specific types of houses. So if somebody tells me they're looking for a new home, they want to live in a 4-bedroom, 2-bathroom with a pool in Hollywood, I find there's probably about 40 of those types of houses right now under $1 million that are available. So you send them over the top 10, right? And then from those top 10, If they don't like those, then you send over another 20, then you send over a couple more. Sometimes when you give them a ton of options, it's kind of like what happens sometimes on Instagram. You see people who get really, really full of themselves. It's because there's an illusion of choice. There's an illusion of options just because of the fact that they see so much and they get a little overwhelmed. So your job as the professional, regardless of whether or not you feel you are fully trained and skilled to be that capacity, that's what you're operating in, right? So we have to look at those specific things that we do in order to keep things in a professional flow, right? And then it's a responsibility to try to keep it as not, again, we're not trying to hold back any sort of listings, right? But we don't want to give them this feeling where there's like, oh my gosh, there's 50 different properties that I can potentially buy. Then they get a little overwhelmed and then they get a little picky. And I would even venture out to say that if you were to go right now and you were to go and find 10 or 12 properties of the properties that you've already sent them, and you sent it back again and you said, hey, here's a curated list of what you're looking for, there is a chance that they're even going to see those properties and they're going to see properties. They're going to be like, whoa, that's so cool. I want to go see this one and this one and this one. Because when you zone in a little bit more with them, you're helping them make a choice, right? You're not steering them, you're not pushing them towards a specific property, but at the same time, you're really just trying to help them using the information that they gave you. So that's something to keep in mind. It's an action item that you can do right after the meeting, because it's very easy to go down the rabbit hole of looking for off-market properties and wanting to try to find off-market properties. The first person that ever wanted to work with me in real estate, his whole business model was to go and find off-market properties. And my first like 20 days into the business, I realized that I'm not going to make money this way quickly. Like I'm really not going to make a lot of money chasing off-market properties. I might sell one, I might sell two, I might sell 10, but the stress and the relying on other people for information if I don't have the listing directly with the seller, or someone maybe trying to cut me out from my buyer by showing them other off-market opportunities. These are all things that in the beginning stages of your business you really, really don't want to deal with. You're going to end up building, like Johnny probably has 4 or 5 different homes that he knows that he can sell them if he gets the right offer. The seller is retarded, so the seller wants 500K more than what it's worth. But technically speaking, if we were to show up with an offer that's within 50, 100K of where things are, there's a very big chance that we can put a deal together. That just comes from being around. It comes from people knowing that you're in the business, and it comes from people casually mentioning these types of opportunities for you. There is no guidance for off-market properties. There's no MLS, there's no data. It's really only just WhatsApp chats, and it's very time consuming because you have to verify everything again, especially as the buyer's agent. So personally, I really only deal, and again, it's a buzzword. It sounds really cool to say that it was done off market. But again, really off market's just the status label. It's really just saying, is it available to the general public or is it not available to the general public? And for us as agents working in a buyer agent capacity, when we hear not available to the general public, it means, okay, we're going to have to spend an additional 5 to 10 hours working on this property specifically, and only on this property, because you have to collect all the information about that property. Because it's not on the MLS, there's no rules in terms of disclosures or things like that before you go into contract. So you really just, as much as we want to tell them, hey, look, like I'm here to help you and I want to make things happen, you also have to come at this from a business standpoint and understand, okay, if I'm going to spend 24 hours with this buyer, because on average, takes about 24 hours of time from start to finish. Between showings, drive time, inspections, appraisals, crazy phone conversations at 8 o'clock at night where they're threatening to cancel contracts, like all those different steps, it can take you about 24 hours. What's 24 hours divided, by the total commission amount, for instance, right? So how much money are we going to make and how many hours are we going to spend on that actual time? Based on that time that we're spending, we know how much money we're making per hour, and we all have a certain hourly value that when we first came onto this team, we've established how much we're worth on an hourly value. So we need to know that, and we need to make sure that we maintain that. And that's what I would recommend you do just in order to stay a little bit more efficient. And I'm happy to sit with you and dig that out a little bit more, should there be a need. Nice work. What's your plan for next week? What's something big you're looking forward to?
Getting listing appointments.
Okay. Well, you're getting much better at them, that's for sure.
Thank you.
What I would do is I would go back to any person that you've spoken to that you have on your phone or in a text message that maybe stonewalled you or didn't reply or ghosted you or whatever. and try to give them a call instead of, or if they don't answer the call, send them a video. Go outside. It's a decent day outside in Miami right now. Lighting is awesome. Go grab a video. And just say, hey, I was sending you this video to see whatever ended up happening with your property. I'm here and available. Let me know if I can be of help. Something suggestive, but not too direct. Awesome. Okay. Well, next week's gonna be awesome. Looking forward to seeing where that goes. Fantastic. Melinda, how was your week?
You're mute. You're mute, Melinda.
All right, I'm gonna stop this. I'm gonna ask you to unmute. I just sent you a notification.
There we go. How's that?
It's awesome.
It was okay. I wish it was better. My renter still hasn't chosen a place yet, but an old client of mine reached out and is now looking for land. So that's something to look forward to.
Okay. In terms of the renters, that the renter we've been talking about the last like 2 weeks.
Yes.
All right. How do we get more of those?
A prospect.
Okay, that's cool. Do you have any ads or listings on like Facebook Marketplace and stuff for rentals in the area?
No.
Okay. That's cool. Is there anybody here that would want to volunteer and spend 5 minutes showing Melinda how to set up listings on Facebook Marketplace?
I can help you really quick.
Cool. Fine. Awesome. So Melinda, after the meeting, I'll put like a one-off chat, and then you guys can kind of just do that. Thank you, Chanel. I appreciate that. And we'll go grab some of those listings. So like that, you can start getting some more clients. The Texas leads are kicking off this weekend. Florida leads are kicking off, refreshed and kicking off this weekend. There's a lot moving in terms of like business and stuff, and I know that everybody's hungry. So we're gonna make sure that we're really going to babysit these opportunities over the next 7 days and make sure that everybody's got either a buyer's agreement or a listing agreement or something in the works, from these leads. I have a lot of confidence in them, and I'm very excited for it. Besides for building new listings, is there anything else that we on Facebook Marketplace? Is there anything else that we can do to be of help for you this coming week?
For me?
Yep.
Yeah, for some reason I was trying to do Vulcan yesterday. I was going to do a dial session with a friend, and I couldn't get into it. It wouldn't start.
Okay. Cool. So Chanel is also an expert at Vulcan 7.
I talked to somebody from Vulcan 7. They had some issue, and that should be fixed now. So.
Oh, okay. Maybe that's what it was. I don't know.
Yeah, but it should be fixed. Should be up and running.
Okay.
Good stuff. Good stuff. And I will tell you, Melinda, don't be shy. I know Adam's a little intimidating sometimes when he's on the phone.
He's the
but
best.
at the same time,
What?
Again, I was sarcastic. It was very sarcastic. Adam's one of the coolest people that we have in Texas. So what I'm saying is, don't stop. Like, don't feel scared to reach out to other people. And just be like, hey, are you also having this issue? Are you also having this problem? Or did you have this problem? A phone call or a text message. Adam's really responsive. That I'll definitely say in all seriousness. And that's something that I value. Also just the fact that people are available. So here you have those two things that will get solved for you. And I'm looking forward to seeing where the leads go for you this coming week. I think it's going to be awesome.
Yeah. I also have an open house on Saturday and Sunday too, so that's good.
Nice. You have signs? You got signs from Chad?
No, I have my own signs.
Okay. Okay, we have team signs.
That's great. Okay, then I should try and get them then for tomorrow and Sunday for sure.
Let's get them set up. I know Chad's been a little under the weather, but we're coming out some of it. So, if there's a way to set that up, let me know. If we have to send it in an Uber, I can set up the delivery. Just let me know.
Okay.
That's awesome. Fantastic. Great. Well, I'm really looking forward to seeing how that goes, Melinda. You got a bunch going on. That's what's up.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That's really cool. Fantastic. Well, thank you for sharing. I appreciate that. Johnny, what's up with you, man? How was your week?
Week was good, very busy. A lot of different things going on right now. I saved this story or this case for the meeting today. For those of you that have been following along, I've been actively trying to find a place for this school to move into and buy. And in Broward County here in South Florida, the zoning for schools is very difficult to find. There's very limited amount of zoning use that's allowed for schools. So over the last number of months, I've been calling, cold calling, and whatever it is. So finally, earlier this week, I cold call a church, and the pastor gets on the phone, and I give him my usual spiel, and he said, actually, we are looking to sell. In fact, we were about to put it on the market for a couple of weeks. So I was like, whoa, finally, like someone after like 2-3 months, whatever it is. So make a long story short, I brought the buyer, we did the showing, and now the buyer seems to like it, and now we're going through the land use attorney. Basically, it's a church, so it's not necessarily directly education, but I think we're going to be able to pull it off because
Yeah.
the state legislature will be able to, they just passed something, so I don't think it should be a major problem. We found something in Cooper City, it's 5 acres, and the building, there's like 2 separate buildings. One's like 10,000 square feet, which is the main sanctuary of the church. And then there's like another 3,000-4,000 square feet of a building on the acreage where they made like 5 or 6 classrooms. So they're, he's planning, if we go forward with this, the buyer's plan on putting whatever it is. So the point of it is that I wanted to just say that as much as we all love dearly to make cold calls, and a lot of times, we get very frustrated. My buyer simply could not believe that I found this property cold calling. And the pastor even said he couldn't believe that like I found him on cold calling. So like it makes a difference. Like it's not only just the fact that you're actually finding something. People notice that. People notice whether it's the buyer, the seller. People notice that you're hustling. And if this sale goes through, I'm gonna have, both a rabbi and a pastor telling everyone I sold my property because this broker cold called me, and from both sides they'll say it was an intervention from God. So I'm hedging my bet either way. So very excited about that, and I hope it goes through. It's going to be a little bit of a process because with these commercial deals, it's going to be a process, but I'm very happy that I was finally able to get them something that they like. But we'll see. It's going to take some time, whatever it is. So that was my highlight of the week.
That's what's up. It's awesome. Double repping a deal on a commercial scale allows you to charge more commission, first of all. Second of all, nice work on the cold calling. See, these are the stories that these are one of the purposes of this meeting. Because at the end of the day, I know that you cold call. I've sat with you. We've done some cold calls. And especially on the commercial sector, there aren't a lot of people who are doing that. So yeah, it really is awesome. To be able to come and share something like that and actually be able to move the needle forward with that. Cold calling is something that at the end of the day, you literally have to be psychotic to enjoy. Like you really have to be psychotic to enjoy it. And there's nothing wrong with being a little psychotic, honestly. There's nothing wrong with it. It's really all a matter of what do you want to do that's more than everybody else is doing because you want to be greater than everybody else. So that's something that's awesome. That shines in comparison to the listing you're working on, to the other deals that you're working on. There's all these different things that compound where it's a matter of just staying focused and stacking in those, different little pieces of effort. That video that we edited for you, today's a good time to post it because, it's, again, we're building momentum. I also would recommend that when you cold call, take a screenshot of the call and just post it on your story.
Right.
When you do something that you're doing because also the gym, personally, if I was in your spot, again, I know that, it's something that you're still getting more comfortable with, but 2-3 times a week, post a photo of you in the gym, and just maybe even a comparison if you want to in a month or two when you're done, start building up this thing where people look at Johnny, they think super broker. Like that's a type of momentum that you're putting yourself into right now. The fact that, the joke is always that whenever you put 2 religious people inside one room, you have 7 opinions. However, when it comes to getting paid, everybody's down. So, it's really cool to be able to set something like that up, and keep that moving. And if you need anything throughout that process, let us know. Are there anything that we can do to be of help to you right now, or anything that you feel we're missing aside from?
Well, we've discussed this week the different things that we're going to work on, so we'll leave it at that. But other than that, I don't think I have anything off the top of my head. That video you sent me, that was super cool. I think you said you wanted to make one
No,
extra.
it's done. There's another one, and then there's another one also there's 2 videos in a drive. So I'm trying to make it a point that everybody in Florida, we try to meet each other at least once a week somewhere and grab 2 or 3 videos, which will be a little bit more professionally edited, because I want to start stimulating your brain when it comes to, okay, that's a video, I should post it. That's this, I should post that, like different, little snippets. And then when we go to Texas, we're gonna do the same thing. We're just gonna film stuff.
If we could add quickly, I know you're taking down like lists of training. I think we do need to do an Instagram training. Just a quick like, hey, whatever. Someone needs to teach us old people with the difference between a story, how to use a story, when do you actually do a post, when do you do a reel. The only thing I know how to do the reels when I do my weekly market updates, when I do those videos. But other than that, I just need to know. I know you gave out the social media content calendar. In fact, it's a tab that's on my computer all the time, so it reminds me when I do it. So that's very helpful. But now I need to take it to the next step and figure out, okay, is this content appropriate for a post, or is this content appropriate for a story? And if it is a story, what do we do with it? So that would be awesome if we could do something like that.
100%. We can definitely do that. We're gonna add it to training, and actually, this week Tuesday, the plan is to meet at the office.
That'd be great.
Office
That'd be
right next to
awesome.
99 Jams, right next to the radio station over there.
Perfect.
So we're going to meet. I want to do it right around, again, if it was me, right, I would say 8 o'clock in the morning, so like that we can start a dial session together. I also want to be a little realistic when it comes to, first of all, everybody showing up, and then also everybody being able to actually perform properly. So I'm thinking more around 10, and then we do 2 hours or something, just a deep dive into a bunch of different things. Everybody just getting a chance to really meet each other. Like some of y'all haven't met each other in person yet, or things like that. So that would also be cool. And then we'll film. We'll make that a little productive. So Catherine, if you can take a note on that and just send out a calendar invite. Tuesday, 10 a.m. We'll do it at the office. We'll post the office address. We'll see everybody there. That's awesome, man. What a hell of a week. That's for sure. What are you most looking forward to next week?
I think there's more movement on the Dakota leases. As soon as you texted me, what's the story with the leases? I'm like, the same shit, different day. I actually got a call from both the landlord and the tenant. They both want to move it, but they're pushing, the landlord is pushing their legal department. David keeps saying I want to move yesterday. What's the story? Tell them to just get me in a flex space now. So we're basically moving on that. So hopefully in the next week or two, we're going to have at least the flex space lease done, where they could just move in now because their lease is ending, and the landlord is doing it pending on the main lease being agreed upon. So hopefully so I'm looking forward to that. And then I'm looking forward to the residential listing. Once that listing agreement is signed, we're going to go in there. We're going to, hopefully all the work that they need to do is done. We'll be able to post that. I'm very excited about that. And continuing doing, what we're doing. So yeah.
That's what's up. So what we're probably gonna do, your sign's ordered, it's ready for pickup. What we're gonna do is I'll have you pick it up and I'll have you bring it to the house, and then we're gonna have the installation company come and actually put a post. Even though it's coming soon, we can still put the sign in front of the property. So that's not a problem. And we can get that up and running.
It'd be great. This way we could already get some phone calls. I'm really targeting that we posted. We would like to get it online sooner rather than later, but these are a little bit older people, but I'm really hoping that Memorial Day weekend we could start doing an open house and whatever. So yeah.
That's awesome.
Can I join you on the open house, Johnny?
You could come if you want to, sure. and everyone is welcome to come. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. So
Awesome. I love that. The collaborative energy, honestly, is really what I believe sets us apart from a lot of other teams and a lot of other people. Just the fact that people are more open to share. Like we're
oh,
all
and sorry to cut you off. And one more thing I forgot to say. I sent Sterny a rental client. So
what's
she's
up.
working on a rental client. So I sent her one. I thought that would be not appropriate. I just thought she would do a better job of giving them attention because I'm working on other stuff. So I figured Sturdy's already a little bit getting momentum. So I figured that'd be a good way for her to keep going.
That's what's up. Looking out for your people. I love that. That's amazing. And also, I know for you, like the fact that you're committing more to the commercial and taking the bigger residential opportunities, and taking more of the smaller ones and giving them to people that you see fit. There's a lot of merit in that, and there's a lot of just the ability to delegate to other people and believing that the energy that you're putting, the frequency that you're on, is sticking a certain way. I'm not sure how much thought went into that, and how much you considered doing that before you actually sent it out. But nice work, man, because that's definitely reinforcing a lot of the commitment of like, okay, I'm gonna specialize in commercial. Like I'm really going to, collect all of that. So really nice work, man. Overall, I think everything's awesome. It's all coming together. We'll get that sign out next week. We'll start marketing towards it. Maybe we'll do some mailers. Once we figure out what type of photos we're gonna do. And I just want to make a note. We had a little bit of an issue with this particular seller just because of the fact that the age range of life experience that they have is a little bit more experienced than us. And sometimes the more life experienced people are, the less they're open to learning new things, especially when it comes to technology. See what I did there? So what we have to do is we have to try to make it a little bit more dummy proof. So the software that we have, right, Realty Back Office, it's technical in terms of what it is, just because it's supposed to be a dummy proof software. So what we're gonna do is we're also going to open up Real Signature. Everybody's got Real Signature on their Reason, which is the app. It's not the most convenient thing to set up on the back end, just because again it's technical, but on the front end it's very, very simple. It's a couple different tabs. So if you moving forward for everybody, if you guys feel like the person that you're talking to is more life experience than you are, and might have a little bit of a struggle with the technology, then definitely make it a point to let us know that so we can make sure that we have another option for them. But again, sometimes to get down, you got to just print out the documents, drive them over, look them in the eyes, sign right here. So that's cool too. And nice work on that. I know that's been minute coming. It's just shy of $1.5 million, which is really cool. For a listing, especially in your neighborhood, especially where everybody sort of knows you. So really nice work with that. Is there anything else that we can support you with this week, or did we cover everything?
Nope, we're good.
That's what's up. Fabulous. Okay, awesome. Well, let's hop on over to Adam. Adam, how was your week?
It was okay. I mean, nothing significant like Chanel or Johnny. I mean, looks like they've achieved a lot, which is awesome. Still trying to enjoy cold calling. I mean, trying my best on that. But also, like, so Johnny, like, does he call? Do you call like commercial leads, like just like how we do with the residential, or is there?
Yeah, in fact, the pastor even asked me how I even found him because he even said to me, "How the heck did you even find me?" So I told him that basically what I did was I took what my client's buy box was. I'm getting in the habit now of requiring that every buyer gives me a buy box. I want them to be as specific as possible. I go to the MLS and then I say, okay, whether it's on market or off market, I go to the MLS and I put in the filters of exactly what they want. 15,000 square feet, the zoning of this, the zoning of that. I put it on an Excel chart, and then once I have my chart, I just go and I bang them out. I use what is the website called that I use for phone numbers? Fast People Search. And if it's an LLC, we have what's known as Sunbiz, the .org, and in Florida. So that tells us who owns the LLC. And a lot of times in commercial, I'm like on Sunbiz all the time. So the church was, let's say, Presbyterian, whatever, LLC. So I had to find out who the registered owner was of and sure enough, the pastor's name came up. I find his number and I called him.
I would
So
love to
it's a
hang
little
out
bit
more with
more
you,
involved
for sure.
commercial, but yeah, I mean, and I was doing, by the way, it wasn't like I was working on this buyer for months, like north of like 4 or 5 months. So like, it took a lot of work to get to where we are now. So don't feel like bad. Like no one should feel bad it's normal to feel frustrated. But I'm telling you, once you hit that one, it works wonders.
Yeah, just yeah, definitely. So as I said, like I would love to hang out more with you, like with what you do, like how you cold call and maybe listen to those calls, like how you make those kind of calls, with commercial agents or commercial clients, and yeah, that would definitely help.
You guys should set up a dial session. You guys should set because here's the thing, right? One thing that I noticed with Johnny, his tonality changed a lot since he joined the team. When I first met Johnny, Johnny was able to be pushed around. Now you can't fuck with Johnny. Like you can't. It's like no. I know what I want, and I know I'm talking to you. It's either you do, or you don't. It's a development of time, and it's also knowing that all you have to do is get in the door, and we'll clean up everything else that we need to clean up. So I want the two of you to spend time calling, together on commercial specifically, because Adam, I know you're looking also for properties and land and things to be able to build and develop on. It's a very similar strategy. Johnny can teach it to you, from how to pull the data to how to talk to them. At the end of the day, with all these people, the biggest thing is just setting an appointment in person. Like that's the biggest thing. So how to get there, how to make that happen. We'll definitely do that. And Adam, I also just want to make another point. This meeting it's not a competition over here. Who's more significant, who's not significant, right? Johnny's been with us for a little bit longer than you have. Johnny's been in this industry for a lot longer than both of us have. So it's not really one of those things where it's like, okay, we're comparing. This meeting isn't about comparison. It's more about everybody coming up for air together. We're switching out the equipment that we have, like the shovels and stuff, to continue digging, and then we all go back to our positions. So personally, I think the fact that you showed up every single day to your real estate business, even though it's new, it's hard, had a storm this week, you weren't able to make it to a meeting this week, you took some time for yourself this week, all those things are building up to keep making that snowball bigger and bigger. I know Texas, when there's snow, people don't like it, so they don't play with the snow. But there's this concept of making snowballs and throwing them at each other. Kennedy can tell you about that. And up when people play with snow, the easiest and coolest way to actually build a snowman is you take a little ball and then you just start rolling it around, right? And the more you roll it around, the snow actually just collects itself. So all you have to do is just keep pushing it in a circle, and ultimately you get this massive big ball of snow, which then becomes a snowman, right? Because then it just, and that's the term, the snowball effect, right? Because once it starts rolling, it just becomes bigger and bigger and bigger. So Johnny's been rolling the snowball for almost a decade, right? And Chanel's been, rolling this snowball for almost a decade worth of months. And you've been rolling your snowball for a couple of different weeks, right? Just trying to find different things, figuring out what's running. So if there's one thing that I just want to continue to just reinforce over here, it's never, ever, ever a competition over who's doing what. Obviously, there's awards for production and things like that, and there's notoriety for making things happen, but it doesn't take away from what you're doing, and it doesn't take away from the value of the actions that you're taking as well. And I just want to acknowledge that, because I know that sometimes it's not easy for you to show up, and you do. So that in and of itself, it's just like Johnny picking up the phone and calling this pastor. It's the same. To me, it's the same level, right? Because you're doing something that you don't want to do. You're doing something that you're fearful of. You're doing something that you don't know what the outcome is, and you're doing it anyways because you know that that's what you need to do to move the needle forward. So, yeah.
Definitely. I mean, yeah, it's less of a competition. I mean, there's no competition at all. I mean, I'm more inspired by these kind of stories, and that's the reason, like, I like this Friday meeting, because I see like people do all kinds of stuff, and to me, like, I like to reverse engineer like what they did, like what all they did to get it done. Like what are the steps from day one, like what all goes into like making a deal happen or getting it to a signing table and whatnot. So definitely, like I would, as I said, like I want to be more inclined towards commercial. For sure. So like, I would love to like stick with like or kind of understand like what Johnny does every day, or like what those cold call looks like and sounds like, or like what are the steps that needs to be done or asked, just so that I can get there, one day, like sooner or later, just trying to make that snowball effect like in place, I guess. So yeah, I've been educating myself on the commercial stuff. That's what I've been doing. Like I've been meeting people around in Texas as well. Went to a real cafe. They do it every month apparently out here with the Texas designated broker. So I also told them about your Texas trip and our team. So yeah, that's there. So yeah, I mean the other guy does commercials, so I was kind of understanding the process or understanding like how Reveal can help me be a commercial guy, like just doing something in land and commercial spare, I guess. So that's what I've been doing. Other than that, like nothing really that's significant. But just putting my face out there, putting my name out there. Just talking with relatives and whatnot. Like one of the relatives, he recently sold his business and he wanted to acquire a piece of land where he can build another business. So yeah, I called a couple of brokers around, or a couple of agents who had listed something, and then they have some off-market properties. So I did some research on that, just to see like the zoning, like what density it allows or what kind of product you can build on that and stuff like that. So just trying to add values. And yeah, for next week, I'm pretty excited about the CRM training today, like so that we can just make it happen finally, because I know it's been taking forever. It's been 90 days, and I want to make at least 90 cents out of this team for now, just get there, So yeah, I'm pretty excited about next week and see how this CRM, like what's the back end, like how does it look like, and how can we, take full advantage of this system that it's worked very hard to build. So pretty excited about that.
Yeah, man, I appreciate that. It's definitely been a roller coaster, and there's just so much that's been going on when it comes to building all of it out. So I'm really happy. We're gonna do that very very shortly, and get this show on the road. That's good stuff. I just put you in a group chat again with Brian Rodriguez. He is one of the directors of Real Commercial. So he, Real has a little commercial division. I'd love for you to get on the phone, talk to him, and just sort of see what the plans are in there for Texas. Are there plans for Texas? And if and they need maybe a representative, that's a great way for you to get involved. With mid-level leadership within the company, just to sort of be able to position yourself in a way where it's like, yeah, man, like commercial is my jam. Like this is what I'm doing, and it's really cool. I love the fact that you and Johnny are both following passions. Because for me, it's just something that I do when I have a client who needs it, so I do it. But to specialize in it, to get the designations, and to make all that happen, it's big moves. So that's what's up. Step 3 of becoming a mogul. So that's awesome. What else can we do to support you this coming week?
I think that's it. Like, I think Johnny would be a great help for me, like, great resource for me. Just trying to, if I can follow his footsteps and just trying to do things that I would enjoy doing, like that I think that I would enjoy doing, like for me, like I would rather want to talk with an investor or show him properties around rather than taking a couple and just trying to convince them that this is the best granite top that you can get in this market and stuff, so just my two cents. But yeah, but also like if something interests me, like I would probably be focused more into it, or like probably be inspired more, and like just do whatever I can to make that happen. So I think that's everybody out here. You cannot ask the chef to just work on the field. You want him to like make a good dinner, whatever, gourmet dinner or whatnot. So, so I think that would fit me better from what I see and like from what I've heard from people around and whatnot. So I want to definitely, be in that little, whatever steps it takes, like, just to be there.
That's what's up, man. I love that. And I'm really excited to see as it progresses, because 100% you're dead on the money with that. That's awesome. So looking forward to seeing how that progresses and how that goes, and then ultimately to see everybody in Texas in about 2 weeks.
Yeah, definitely. And also the tools like we talked about, like the CoStar, I would love to just see what that platform looks like, because I've not really got into that, the paid version and stuff like that. I don't know. I don't know
Yeah,
how
I
it
got a
works.
text message from my guy at Crexy. Chad actually reached out to them this week,
Crazy. Yeah.
and the first thing that they did was they shot me a text and they were like, "Hey, this guy's dropping your name. Who is he?" And I was like, "What do you mean? Like, this guy works with me." So we're actually reinstating the membership where it's going to be multi-state. So you're going to be able to use the membership in Florida. You're going to be able to use the membership in Texas. The cool thing about Crexy is that it is a lead generation platform too. Like, there's a lot of principals that are on the platform actually looking. When I heard that first time in commercial real estate, I was like, whoa, last time I got sent to the principal's office, it wasn't a good thing. And then I realized that the principals it's the reference for the name of the person who's actually the person who's actually buying, which I thought was kind of funny. That's a cool platform here. Johnny, you'll see a bunch of the commercial stuff that we did. It's all sitting there on the back end. And we're going to go through it. My goal with the CRM is the dial sessions that we're going to do this coming week, they're going to be more focused with timing, right? So everyone's going to kind of get on the same time. We have Kennedy, who's getting used to calls. Shterny, who is also still getting used to calls. Myself, Chanel, we're all kind of get on, do dials on a Zoom level. We'll do the Texas meeting. And then we're going to continue with the dials. After the dials are over, the set time amount of dials, we're then going to go to the CRM. And we're going to go through leads. We're going to do that together. And I'm going to hold everybody's hand step by step as we're all doing this together, because it's repetition that's going to work over here in terms of where to go, how to go, what to dial, how to dial. Oh my God, Joe, this just happened. Whoa, I just moved this. What's happening, right? And it'll all be there. It's going to be very time consuming. And that is, like, for me, that's okay. I've made it a point to clear out my schedule, like literally clear out my schedule for next week until 11 o'clock every single day. Right? Just because I know that it's going to be very important for that to happen. So that's where it comes to the leads. That's where it comes to commercial. That's where it comes to software. We're going to jump right into all of it and then figure out a way to swim through all of it and continue pushing for growth. Thank you for sharing that, man. I appreciate that. And if there's anything else that comes up throughout the week, you know where to find us.
Of course.
Kennedy, what's up? Welcome to Florida. How's it going?
Thank you. Good. I'm only missing my bed frame. Everything else is moved in. Got my couch yesterday. Finally got my car yesterday. So that's nice.
That's what's up. What was your biggest win of the week?
Yesterday I had dinner with Marcos, which is my commercial client. So that was nice because I got to pick his brain a little bit more. I decided I'm going to combine my Instagrams instead of creating a new one, because I have just a good amount of followers on my other one, and I don't really care for it. So I'm like, who cares? I'll just use it as my real estate business one. I deleted my Facebook a while ago, but then just got a new one, posted an apartment on there. I would like to join that meeting later just to see if I did it right. I just went for it. I don't really know what I'm doing when posting apartments, but I was like, I know how to work Facebook, so I'm just going to do it. Deleted all my personal TikTok videos because I decided I'm going to make my TikTok real estate TikTok now. So that was nice. For next week, or even maybe today, I want to send a video to an old client like you told me and taught me to do. And things that I want to learn and do. Johnny, I'm probably going to join you at your open house just to watch you and maybe just chat it up with some random people. I want to go to a showing, want to go to an open house, and I want to film and get more comfortable filming real estate videos. I've been in front of a camera before, but not for real estate. So this will be fun. And I'm looking forward to learning, posting more on social media, and then doing like cold calling.
Okay. That's what's up. I love that. This is the energy we're looking for when we get started.
Very good.
A couple of things. Firstly, open house wise, definitely. We did an open house last week that honestly the owner still has the bee nest over there, so I'm not going to call an open house. Again, I can go and I can knock it down. I have no problem doing that. But the thing is that when you're dealing with hornets, if you get rid of it but you don't kill all of them, but they're going to re-nest and they're going to get more aggressive. So I'm not interested in putting anybody in harm's way. Like for me, it's again, I don't see the big deal in it, but I understand the way they work. So that's
Can you send
that's
me the video you took of the wasp?
what they kind of jumped in front of me. I was filming it for I was filming the wasp for the owner, like filming the nest for the wasp, and the owner wanted to see the size of it. So I walked up to it, and this wasp kind of got right in front of my camera and was like, "Hey, fuck off!" Like that was the vibe. And I thought it was kind of funny. But again, like at the end of the day, I'm just trying to sell this house. You know what I mean? But the guy is like so cheap. He asked me if I have any, because we do management. So he asked me if we have any thermostats that we can switch out for him in his house. Like air conditioning, like his house literally has no air conditioning inside of it. So we're not pushing that much.
There's a chicken coop in the backyard. Like this is a typical.
It's a vibe. It's a vibe. That's Hollywood, man. It definitely is. It's a pretty cool house. So yeah, Johnny, the sooner we can get that live, the better. Obviously, we'll sell that thing right away. And then in terms of filming, Bex is actually on her way back from New York. Yesterday we had an event where we brought together 25 qualified buyers who were all qualified over $1 million to be able to spend over $1 million, and we showcased 6 of 12 different projects that this developer is building over here. From every angle. We built it in a way where the presentation focused on investments, it focused on high-end luxury residential, on mid-range residential, and then entry-level residential, like 500K to 7 million, basically. So there was a little bit of room there for everybody, and we put it in a restaurant where it's right next door to like a very ritzy cigar lounge. It's a kosher restaurant, so we just brought a bunch of like kosher observant people to this restaurant and loaded the place out. We got a buyer, one of my clients who owns property here. We got them to buy a whole floor. Again, we have to negotiate and figure it all out, but they basically committed to buying a whole floor of units inside one of these buildings. And then Bex has a ton of other things that she's working on with her clients. So I definitely just wanted to put that out there, though she's not here. This was all done with videos. It was all done with WhatsApp group chats. It was all done with text messages. There wasn't anything that was super technical aside for the actual cost of flying there, booking the hotels, and getting all of the materials and everything. Like there wasn't, it took a month to put it all together. So that's something that if you guys want to do, or if you guys want to create, or you feel like you have a pool of people that you know that we can fill into a room, by all means, we can put them in front of whatever type of developer, whatever type of financing, whatever it is that we need to do to build an event, to try to fill those up. I also wanted to note on the 22nd of this coming month, in 13 days, we have a paddle or padel, depending on how proper or ghetto you are, how you want to pronounce it. But we're doing one of those events. It's a networking event with 6 different courts. It's at Platinum Paddle in North Miami Beach. We specifically chose that location because it's not, that crazy traffic between 3 and 7 o'clock. It's entry level traffic, and for most people, it's on their way home anyways. So the idea was to pull everybody there. We're going to have Lamborghini Miami, who's one of our sponsors. We're going to have the Wolf of Watches, which Chad's a really big fan of. We're going to have a couple different sponsors, food-wise and other things, just to really try to pull in a network of everybody. Because one thing that I realized, and I want you guys to keep this in mind too before we go over to Chad, is that every single agent that we're working with is potentially one of our clients. The beautiful part about the model that we have here in this company is that anybody that you bring into the company, right? People that you want to work with, people that you want to grow with, the more they grow, the more you grow. The more you benefit, the more they benefit. And that just works A, by proximity, and B, because of the fact that every single person here is part of somebody's organization, which means when you close a deal, somebody is going to collect a percentage off of the money that you're paying to the company. It's not affecting you, right? But it's coming from the company pays it out as an incentive. So if there are people in your network that you want to invite, whether it's the Texas events, the Florida events, that you can see yourself working with, there's a way to create a win-win situation where they grow in their business and you grow in your pocket money, which is a really cool way to be able to do that. So anybody that you want to bring to the event, let me know. We have a special code to be able to track who the people are that we're specifically interested in talking to. So we can give them that code. They will get a 50% off. Again, it's an $18 entry ticket. If they don't have $18 in general, we really don't want to work with them as agents, respectfully. Some people like that idea, but it's just not our thing. At the same time, though, we do want to show that we have a little bit of like appreciation for the fact that they're down for the get down, and it's always cool to save $9. I mean, that's a Starbucks latte, right? So like it works sometimes. Um, that being said, Chad, we missed you a couple days this week. We've been praying for you to get better. How you doing? How's everything? What's business looking like? How you feeling?
Getting there, man. Doing better than what I was a few days ago. So that's a plus. But as soon as I sat down and started this meeting, I got an offer on one of my properties, and right after the offer came in, it's like, Chad, can we see these? So I got about 10 houses for 3 different clients to show. And sorry, my phone keeps going off too. But yeah, so it's I'm pretty excited about that. We're almost there on that offer. It's an all cash offer. They can close by the end of May. So we just need to bump it up a little bit more and get to the right price. So I'm looking forward to getting that deal under contract today and get an offer in tomorrow on my buyer's house. And so we've got after they're under contract, their house is I'm listing their house. So and I told them we need to start before we need to get it listed before school gets out. So that's the goal in any case. So we should have that one up by the end of the month.
I love that. That's awesome. There's a lot of movement happening in Texas right now. There's a lot of things going on.
Yeah, like this time of year, it's just kind of like it's kind of like they're coming out of hibernation. Like when it's cold, Texas people don't move. So it's just like they get very still, slow, sluggish. Like they start packing on weight and stuff like that. And then it just all changes as soon as it warms up, you know. And once it gets above 70, everybody's good to go.
Everybody's good to go. That's what's up. What are you most looking forward to this coming week?
This week, just kind of overall, just getting some clarity, being able to, start, seeing what it's going to look booking out on the Texas tour and stuff like that, and seeing, kind of what the order is and where, what I guess main thing is like, what we're going to do here in DFW. I've got a couple things, a couple events that we can do. But yeah, just kind of getting ready for all that next week, really.
So this is what we have. We have on the 27th, we have the event, and then we have a mastermind lunch on the 28th at the Greater San Antonio Builders.
Yeah, I saw that one. So that's on the 27th, though, right?
The 27th. Yeah, we're hitting the 27th and the 28th. We're gonna do a day and a half. That makes sense, right? The 27th is Tuesday, right? I'm not tripping.
Right. No, yeah, it's
okay, cool.
Tuesday.
Yeah, it's Tuesday. So here's the plan, right? Because 26th is Memorial Day. So what I wanted to do,
I didn't know that. Okay.
Neither did I. I literally looked at my calendar this morning. I was like, bro, what is becoming my life? So what I realized was that it would make more sense to kick off on a Tuesday, which for most people they're considering it a Monday, because with all due respect to like Texas and all the Midwestern states, y'all know how to party every third day of the week. Like I don't know how, but there are like events and there's holidays and all these different things. Like literally every couple of weeks. So being able to walk in on a Tuesday, which is considered a Monday, and grab everybody, from 11 to 2, it gives people time. The real hustlers in the morning from 8 to 11, they're busy, they're working, they're doing whatever. And then from 11 to 2, everybody's sort of together. And then the 28th, we'll be there until like 3 o'clock, and then we'll hit the airport at 5. We'll land in Dallas. And then we have the 29th and the 30th in Dallas. And then either I'll fly back the 30th at night or the 31st in the morning. One way or the other.
Are we hitting Houston at all, or are we gonna skip out on that?
So yeah, we don't have enough of a movement in Houston right now.
That's actually, I mean, that, like I said, that's fine. I was gonna try to put like an event together. It's gonna be harder because I'm not actually in Houston, but I've got some connect. If we're gonna make it down there, that's what I wanted to know. Really, is like.
Well, what I was gonna do is potentially fly on the 26th, be in San Antonio in the morning. But either way, it's an hour away. So like technically speaking, like we can dip out there, we can borrow someone's car or whatever, or rent a car or whatnot, and just go there for us. But like, to go and just like prepare a whole new event and do all of that, we're already hosting 4 of them. I want to go where people invite us and people make moves and people are setting things up and we're just pulling up versus like having to run everything and then be responsible and accountable for everything else. I just feel like it's a better use of our time.
No, I agree 100% because where we're at, it's Houston, it's in Harris County, but it's like walk across the street and you're in Galveston. So you know, it's going to be close depending on where in San Antonio, but it would be closer to like 4 hours to get there.
Yeah.
So from San Antonio, so it's just kind of like, well, damn, like is that even worth the drive just to go out there and shoot a video? Because like, oh, damn.
I hear ya. Well,
Yeah, it's just, I mean, at that point, I'd have to call. I mean, it doesn't sound, you know, I'd have to call Lacey and be like, hey, can we get an event together and start trying to put something like that up? And I'm just like, man, we're already kind of crunched for time, so.
I'm here with you on that. That's what's up. Well, yeah, I'm looking forward to putting all that together and making all that happen. Quick word from the Angels. Y'all have anything to share? Catherine, Karen, anything that you would like to share or say? Oh, hang on. Camille joined our meeting. Camille rented an apartment this week. I don't know if you're available or you're able to turn your camera on and say what's up. But yeah, congrats on that. I think that was awesome. So, you know, nice work doing that. That was a referral from a friend, which was great. Catherine, Karen, anything to say?
Hi everyone. Well, not really. As always, you know that we have the WhatsApp group, so in case you need anything. This week was a little bit different because Joe was out, but you know, as always, Karen and I are available, and yeah, it was a pretty good week.
That's what's up. Yeah, I think it was very good. You know, just in terms of communication and stuff, it was great. You know, and we're just gonna keep doing what we do. But one thing I will note, this week we lost 2 tasks that needed to be done because of the fact that they were sent in WhatsApp groups and they were not sent in emails. So it's not that we're avoiding or ignoring them. It's just that, Johnny, I mean, you saw it this week, right? There were like a bunch of text messages in our chats back and forth. And it's like, you know, imagine if we're in the middle of that conversation, then mid that conversation, you're like, hey, can you do this too? Right? It's not that we're avoiding it or we're ignoring it. It's just that the way that we've built this system to work, to be able to function when I'm out of the office, essentially, right, is to be able to have that system for it to be able to work properly. So, you know, shout out to everybody who did send in requests. I know Chanel sent in a bunch of different requests this week. Johnny put some things together. Sherney put some things together. And again, it's a good thing. The more requests you put in, the more movement you have. It's a good thing. The more you ask, the better. We know you're busy. So that's good stuff. What we're going to do right now is we're going to take a 10-minute break. I need to actually get on a Zoom call with Catherine and Karen just for the both of us to be able to sync. They're working on all of the newsletters and they're working on a couple other tasks that I want to make sure get done before the weekend for you guys. So like that, we can send out all the newsletters, make sure that everything is approved and good to go. I will be back on this Zoom room here at 1:11, okay? So that's in 10 minutes from now. We're going to kick off the CRM training. We're going to get all that going. Go do some jumping jacks, go grab a glass of water, some tissues, depending on how you're feeling, or definitely a notepad and a pen. And I'll see you guys back here in exactly 10 minutes. Thank you very much.